So we're going to knock a couple of topics out that we are trying to cover this week. We're going to knock a few of them out at once. We are going to look at graphic tablets. We're going to look at signature capture devices. We're going to look at other input devices like joysticks, other gaming devices like steering wheels or guitars. And we'll also look at touchpads, which I didn't cover when we were looking at the pointing devices. So you should know what a touchpad is. So I'll show you what that is. And then I'm going to point you towards a couple of resources for the brain interface unit things, where if you want to learn more about that, I will give you a couple of places you could go to check out some cool videos. So that's what we're going to cover in this video. And, we're learning about input devices, right? So right here, what we're covering this week is I/O devices, and we are still learning about input devices, and then we're going to get down here, we're going to learn about output devices. So what are graphic tablets? Graphic tablets are tablets where you can draw on the tablet, and it appears on the screen. And one of the main ones, like if you were to go to Best Buy, they have something called the Bamboo graphics tablet. It costs about 80 bucks or 150 bucks, depending upon which size you get. And I recently purchased one and played with it, and I found it to be just sort of awkward and not very intuitive. And the thing that was hard about it was that I was drawing here, and what I was drawing was appearing on the screen. And so I never really got the feel for it where, when you draw, you kind of want to see what you're drawing, and instead you're drawing here, and what you're drawing is up there. Where does my pen go to get it to be in the right place? It was kind of weird. But anyhow, you could search for them on Google Shopping, cost anywhere from 75 to 150 bucks. And I liked buying it at Best Buy because I had 15-day return policy, and I ended up taking mine back. A much better solution, by the way, this Bamboo thing is created by a company called Wacom, whatever that means, or however you say it. And a much better solution is to have a screen that you could draw on. And so this is a screen, there are screens out there that you could purchase that you could draw right on the screen, which is much more intuitive, right? Because it's now I'm just drawing right on the image. So that makes a whole heck of a lot more sense to me. And you can see this woman is pretty in love with her screen upon which she can draw. And that's a little bit more expensive. You're going to pay like $2,000 or $3,700 for their larger one, and this is at Wacom's website. But the main thing you should know is that there are graphic tablets, and then there are also screens, graphic screens. I don't know what you call them. I'm calling them graphic screens that you could draw on, and that's kind of a cool thing. So again, we're talking about input devices, and so another input device is a signature capture device. And if you have a credit card, you have come across these where they ask you to sign your name. And so there's a variety of signature capture devices. One of the newest ones that's out there, which is really slick, I absolutely love it, and this is like a huge takeaway for anybody, is there's this company called Square, right? Where you can put this little square on top of your iPhone, you sign up for an account, and it's 2.75% per swipe, no additional fees, and next day deposits. I mean, like, how slick is that? So if you wanted to sell something to anybody, anywhere, you could immediately set your iPhone up to take credit cards. And you just put this little square thing on the top of it, you sign up for an account, you swipe the credit card, you say how much you're going to charge them, and then it processes it all and gives you the money. So it's a pretty amazing thing. And part of this is it has a signature capture device. So after you have swiped their card, you have them sign somewhere. When I sign these things, I think they're such a joke. Like, I just scribble, and I don't ever really sign sometimes I'll probably sign my name, but a lot of times I just scribble. Sometimes I'll draw a picture, like I swipe my credit card, and then I draw like a little wave and the sun. I don't know, it just seems kind of silly to me, signature. But that's me. Other input devices, there are joysticks, and this thing right here, I think this is from Atari, but just like viscerally on some level, it brings me joy to see that image. Because I used to spend a lot of time loving video games when I was a kid, and using a joystick much like this one. And anyhow, different joysticks. These are also input devices. And of course, when it gets into gaming, there are also these Nintendo-style ones. But there are a variety of input devices that people can use to make their gaming experience more real. Like here's a steering wheel with pedals. And more steering wheels here with pedals, right, for your computer. And here's a really pretty elaborate system right there with gear shift and everything. So that's kind of crazy. Yeah, wow, look at that, right in your very own home. Cool. Anyhow, and there's also input devices like with Guitar Hero, where that's another input device. You're connecting with the computer and inputting. So anyhow, what about touchpads? That's something I didn't talk about when we were talking about pointing devices. And this thing here, which you see on some laptops, and occasionally, will you ever see it anywhere else? I'm looking to see if there's images of it anywhere else. I don't see it anywhere else. This is called a touchpad, and so you just move your finger across the surface, and then there are your mouse buttons. And when you move your finger across the surface, that's how you make your pointer on your screen move. And then in some computers there are pointing devices. So here's the pointing sticks right in the middle of the keyboard. So that's kind of like something that they tried to see if people liked it, and people did not like it. And so that kind of has been discarded, but occasionally you'll see that. All right, so last thing we want to talk about in this array of concepts which we're covering right here, making sure you know what graphic tablets are, making sure you know what a signature capture device is, making sure you're aware of other input devices like joysticks and steering wheels and guitars and touchpads. And last thing we want to cover in this array of topics which we are hammering through is the brain interface units. I'm going to give you 2 resources to look at, and then point something else out because it just happened to come up on my screen. But this is a TED Talk, which you can watch it if you're interested, all right? So it's just like an optional thing. It's an okay TED Talk. It's not one that I'm saying you should watch this for this course. This is something you really need to know about. Only go watch this if you're really kind of interested in the brain interface units. And there's the name of it, and you could go find it on YouTube, and you can watch it. And when you're done, you'll be like, yeah, that was an okay TED Talk. And one I haven't watched, but which came up when I was looking for this one. So you might check this out. But just looking at the images, it looks like it's going to be kind of crappy. So, check it out and caveat emptor, and maybe it'll be good. But monkey that controls a robot with its thoughts. And so it's a TED Talk on that. And you could actually, just YouTube monkey controls robot with thoughts. You could YouTube that, and you'll just get videos of like, this monkey here controlling this robotic arm with his mind and making the arm go out and get stuff and bring it back to him and feed himself with a robotic arm. Kind of cool. So that's a brain interface unit. And last thing, just for hoots and hollers, because it's really pretty dang cool, and it came up when I just looked over to the side here, is this TED Talk, Yves Rossi, or whatever his name is, Fly with the Jetman, whatever his name is, Fly with the Jetman. And that's a very cool TED Talk, but I don't know if I included it in our list of topics for this course this year, but totally fun to check out. So Yves Rossi, Fly with the Jetman. I'll search real quick here. And I have not included it in anywhere in our course, the outline that I've built. So that is definitely worth checking out just for like, wow, check that dude out and look at what he's doing. That's a pretty neat thing. And if you have never seen, one last thing I'll show you, you can find these at wimp.com. You can also find them on YouTube. But if you just go to wimp.com and search for wingsuit, they've got wimp.com basically filters a lot of videos and just finds the best videos. But if you search for wingsuit at wimp.com, there's also some really cool videos about wingsuit, closely related to that Fly with a Jetman video. So a lot of cool things to check out. You just learned some new phrases about input devices. You've learned about graphic tablets, signature capture devices, other input devices, and brain interface units. Woohoo!